Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another video here. We're going to jump into a Thursday night football slate, one of the least interesting slates of the year, in my opinion. Going to have Tennessee going to Jacksonville. I don't dislike either team. I just think this year it's going to be a pretty boring matchup, and I think the over-under is set at 40 right now, actually, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be low scoring as well. If you have not already, please do leave a like on this video. I will leave links in the description. Again, if you haven't already, you also need to go over here to DFSSquid and go ahead and register, make an account. All you have to do is go to lineups, go to NFL, and then you can kind of get rolling, and more importantly, you can go ahead and see our lineups. I did make showdown lineups for the Cleveland Jets game. Neither one of them did too hot. The GPP split in some. But David Njoku injury really screwed us. If I got off Njoku and went to the Browns defense in the GPP, we would have been placing top 2% at worst, which would have just been an overall takedown. And same thing in cash. It would have been an easy cash if Njoku never got hurt or if I got off him and went for the defense instead. But other than that, let's go ahead and jump right into this slate. One thing that I do recommend, and I'll get into why here in a second, I think this is a pretty tough slate to play cash on. I'm going to go into the method I'll be taking, but this is a very build 100 lineups and just stick them into a tournament sort of a slate for me. There's a lot of different variations as to what could happen. But in a cash sense, you're going to want to just jam Derrick Henry, Fournette in there. You know they're going to get the volume. You just can't fade them in cash. You have to have both of them. A lot of people, and I do agree, Gardner Minshew's looked good. You know, he's looks good. He's not, an elite quarterback by any means, but 18, 17. They were both against lackluster defenses. I think they're going to have a little bit more hell going against Tennessee. They are at home. They have that going for them. And then Mariota playing in Jacksonville, I think that's definitely fadeable in cash. It's just when you look at that Jags secondary, I think Boye's on track to play too. He should be fine. And then Jalen Ramsey just requested a trade. I don't really think that impacts this game too much. I think it's going to be kind of that 2019 Legion of Boom there in Jacksonville. But I definitely think he's fadeable in cash. Gardner Minshew, though, I think I would like to have him in my cash lineup. And then I would love to have a pass catcher. I don't think you have to have a pass catcher, but I think it would be nice. What I would be looking for in cash at captain would either be the Titans defense, the Jags defense, or one of the kickers. I think one of the safest plays is probably a kicker. I think this is going to be a potential under on the 40. I think it's at 40 right now, but if it's at 40 or 41, I would be okay with taking the under on it. I just don't see there being too many touchdowns in this game, so it's gonna be interesting. Of course, it could just shoot out for whatever reason. Gardner Minshew could just come alive and kind of hang with the competition. But one thing I do think is kind of strange is how high priced Delaney Walker is. I know he's had a good first couple games, but I mean. When you go 22.5 to 7.9, it just kind of shows that inconsistency to me. And that high of a price, definitely not going to be a cash play for me. Definitely more of a GPP thing where you stack him and Mariota together. But if you come down to some of his pass catchers, Gardner Minshew's pass catchers, you can't hate DJ Chark. He's got 28 and 18.5. The volume was there last week. See, the reason I was not on him last week was because he didn't have that volume when they played KC. He had 4 targets. That was a funky game, obviously, because Foles got hurt. But he had 4 targets, and that's not what I look for when I make a cash lineup. I don't look for 4 targets and 4 receptions for 150 yards. I look for 9 targets and 7 catches. I don't care if it's 55 yards or not, but that's what I'm looking for is that target volume. The more targets you get, the better play you are, the safer play you are, I should say, because they have a higher floor. Hopefully, for DFS sake, Chris Conley misses. If he misses, I would love to play Chark and or Westbrook. But if we were to consider this a cash lineup, I would definitely stick with these 3 down here. Throw in one of these pass catchers, one of these four. If Conley's out, I don't hate Marquise Lee, but honestly, I would just try to squeeze in Chark or Westbrook. If we were to play Westbrook in there, and then maybe grab. Let's go back to our captain slot. So if we have this much Jacksonville exposure, I think their defense is better to play here. The Titans' defense is priced up just ridiculously compared to Jacksonville's. But if we plugged in, the Jags D, that allows us to get back up to Chris Conley, another one of his pass catchers. But that's a lot of Jacksonville exposure. I almost think I would prefer a kicker, personally, if we went with Cairo, and then we get back up to Chark. That's something I think is pretty decent for cash. Again, a lot of Jacksonville exposure. But on that Tennessee offense, this is something I wanted to note. It's probably the first time I've ever seen this on a Showdown slate where that QB gap where there's the backup QBs and they go from all the skill position players down. Above the backup QBs, there is Tennessee's tight end, running back, and quarterback, and then a bunch of Jacksonville players. And right after the QB gap is when Mariota's actual wide receivers start coming in. So I think that these are going to be probably pretty high owned. I think A.J. Brown should get some serious ownership, especially at this price tag. Corey Davis, I don't know what's going on with Corey Davis. I mean, he's not even getting the volume, though. It sucks to see that. He was like a 9th or 10th round pick in season long. I mean, he's a talented kid. I don't know if it's the volume or what. If you don't like the lineup I just made for cash, if you're a Tennessee fan or if you just think Tennessee's going to just kind of smack them, lay down the hammer, by all means, plug in the Titans D or something like that. But after what we saw at Jacksonville-Houston, I don't see Tennessee's offense doing too much more to Jacksonville's defense than Houston did. I would be pretty surprised. But like I said, anything can happen. When it comes to tournaments, though, for the captain spot, I'm going to have probably 100 lineups to 150 lineups going. I just don't really like this slate too much. I'm not going to overplay it, but I will have shares of Derrick Henry at captain. I will have shares, not too many, but I will definitely have some Mariota captain lineups. Leonard Fournette, he definitely have some captain shares. Gardner Minshew, of course, and then Delaney Walker and Chark. I might even have some D.D. Westbrook, but I don't know. I'm definitely going to have both of these defenses. I think that if there are more than 2 touchdowns in this game, one of them will be a defensive touchdown. It just seems like that kind of a game to me. The Titans, yeah, they've looked good. Excluding their loss to the Colts last week, but they've looked decent on offense, though, and I just feel like they're not what they seem to be, especially after the Cleveland game. I think that was just kind of a fluke, to say the least. But if you do want to save some salary on this slate, I don't hate the Adam Humphries play. I think that he's going to get some more targets eventually. Looks to make more of an impact in Week 3. It's going to be a better game for him than it would be for Corey Davis and for A.J. Brown, just with Boye and Jalen Ramsey. I think he has a better shot at maybe garnering some targets in this game. Right below him, though, both these Jacksonville tight ends, just low floor, low ceiling players, but also consistently 4 to 5 points, it feels like. Could they score 0? Yes, absolutely. One guy that I liked for the Cleveland game was D'Ernest Johnson. Everybody was giving me flack about that, actually. And then, I think it was the third play of the game, he caught like a 27-yard ball. So for me, at $200 min price, he's already at value with one 27-yard catch. With these guys here, it's like if they get you 6 points, great. And we do have a visitor, special guest speaker today. Say hi. Meow. But Gardner Minshew, I don't know if it's his choice or if Keelan Cole has just looked that bad. But I don't think he's been playing many snaps at all. Yeah, I mean, he's just not getting snaps, hasn't been targeted. 12 offensive snaps in Week 1 for Keelan Cole. That's weird. I mean, Keelan Cole I thought was looking good in the regular season when we've seen him. But I'm probably not going to have too much of him, if at all. You want to try to get quite a bit of exposure to the main guys, and then you want to pick anybody from this range down right here. you're just going to have to kind of jam in some exposure for everybody because these are the guys that ruin those showdown slates. If TJ Sharp if he gets a touchdown for 50 yards and you don't have a single lineup with TJ Sharp, you're not winning a single GPP. You're just not. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the GPP outlook. But if we were going to start to plug in a lineup that I would like, I would say DJ Chark's probably going to be a pretty good GPP captain for this slate. I think most of the ownership at captain is going to go defense, kicker, Henry, and Fournette. Not in that order, but just to give you guys an aspect of how I think it's going to go. If we were taking him, I also think it would be good to take another pass catcher and Minshew. I just think that's something. I think a lot of this will be there, but I don't know how much of this will be there. It's going to be probably a pretty low-owned trio with one of the pass catchers at captain. I don't hate switching it to Westbrook at captain. I do think you absolutely have to run it back with maybe somebody like Delaney Walker, who's not going to be that cashy receiver from Marcus Mariota. And then, again, this is supposed to be a very low-scoring game. If you took Mariota next and then went ahead and grabbed a kicker, I think that's absolutely contrarian play. You don't have a single defense in there, and you're captaining a skill position player. So I think my favorite pass catcher in this game is going to be D.D. Westbrook because I think a lot of people are going to be off of him. It's pretty clear Minshew prefers throwing the ball to Chark. 6 targets, 5 targets. DJ Chark's got 9 last week, so I mean, it's early. It's early in Minshew's tenure here in Jacksonville, but I think that this would be a pretty good contrarian lineup. Maybe one other one you could go captain like Corey Davis. I don't think many people are going to captain Corey Davis or A.J. Brown. You could even captain Delaney Walker though. If you captain Delaney Walker, take Mariota, and then take another pass catcher. This is probably gonna be pretty low owned too. I think a pass catching captain, their quarterback, and then another one of the pass catchers for that same quarterback. That's probably gonna be pretty contrarian on this slate. I think there's gonna be a lot of defenses and kickers out there. I definitely don't hate that play, but then again, you do need to run that one back with Chark. You're basically saying it's going to be a much more high-scoring game than most anticipate. If you took that like that, and then pretty much take Minshew, but you're basically just switching up the captain. And then if you like the Titans' defense to make some noise against Gardner Minshew, I mean, obviously they stopped Baker in that Cleveland offense week 1. I don't hate that play. That's probably going to be pretty low owned for you to take a quarterback and pass catcher, but also the opposing team's defense. That's not a very common stack at all. And if the Titans D gets a few sacks, maybe a pick 6, then you're looking great. So that's kind of all I got for you on this slate. I will do my next video is probably going to be uploaded either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. It'll be more of a thoughts on Sunday. But let's see. Yeah, I'll probably upload kind of a first look at Sunday tomorrow. And then if you guys have any suggestions, because I've been planning on doing like a first look at Sunday, Thursday Night Football, and then my final thoughts on Sunday most weeks. But doing my first thoughts on Wednesday, I feel like it's kind of late. But I work on Mondays and Tuesdays, so I think I might just be doing like a final thoughts or just an all-around maybe a longer video going a little bit more in depth on Sunday. Maybe just do that on like Fridays. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, if you have any questions for me, please leave those in the comment section below. If it's season long, DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, it doesn't matter. Please let me know if you have any questions that I can give you advice with. I'm happy to do so. And on your way down to the comment section, there is a little thumbs up button. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and good luck on this Thursday Night Football slate.